New footage appears to show a successful Ukrainian drone strike on Russian frontline positions as both Moscow and Kiev ramp up their first-person view drone development. In a video posted to social media on Monday by Ukrainian activist Serhiy Sternenko, who runs fundraisers for Ukraine's drone stockpiles and publishes combat footage, several clips are spliced together and appear to show a Ukrainian first-person view, or FPV, drone strike on a Russian hideout. The footage seems to show at least one Ukrainian kamikaze drone target, a ruined structure where Russian soldiers were sheltering before it explodes, demolishing the remains of the building. A separate airborne vehicle appears to have captured the moment of impact. The strike is attributed to the 80th Brigade of Ukraine's airborne forces, but Sternenko did not specify when nor where it was filmed. The clip sparked speculation online that the drone in the video was a larger, more destructive FPV model than those Ukraine has been routinely using. FPV drones quickly became almost emblematic of Ukraine's efforts with unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. They can be used to record dramatic battlefield footage where the drone careens towards Russian vehicles before exploding, or deployed as reconnaissance tools to guide artillery strikes. Both Moscow and Kyiv have used FPV drones extensively in frontline hotspots, including in and around Avdiivka, since Russia launched its offensive on the embattled Donetsk town in early October 2023. In mid-December, a Ukrainian official said Russia was winning the war in terms of FPV numbers in certain areas. Ukraine has just one drone to between 5 and 7 Russian FPV drones in key battleground sectors of eastern and southern Ukraine, said Yuri Fedorenko, the commander of Ukraine's Achilles drone company, which is within the country's 92nd Assault Brigade. Ukraine dominated FPV manufacturing earlier this year, but Russia has since expanded its own programs and sent large numbers of the unmanned vehicles to the front lines, according to Samuel Bendit of the Center for Naval Analyses, a U.S. think tank. Multiple Russian volunteer, state and affiliated manufacturing efforts have significantly ramped up FPV development and shipped large quantities to the front, he previously told Newsweek. It's highly likely that these efforts combined are providing the Russian military with tens of thousands of FPVs a month. But Ukraine has been pouring funds into buying and modifying FPV drones, launching several fundraisers to purchase thousands of them last year. It's hard to compete with Russia on quantity, Mikhailo Fedorov, Kyiv's Minister of Digital Transformation, who is at the helm of the drone efforts against Moscow, told Newsweek in early December. FPV drones are indeed a tech revolution, even though the tech itself is quite easy. They have become very efficient tools for Ukraine and work sometimes even more efficiently than artillery, he said. Ukraine has scaled up drone production, including FPV drones, and is working with all sides to promptly ramp up co-production further, Kyiv's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said on January 11th. Russia's forces will soon change their offensive strategy after decreasing attacks along parts of the front line. In recent weeks, Ukraine has said, as an Institute for the Study of War, IS map shows the latest state of play in the conflict. Kharkiv Oblast's military administration head, Oleh Syniehubov, said Russian attacks towards Kupiansk in the Kharkiv Oblast had dwindled over the past 3 weeks to between 2 and 5 attacks per day, although he expects renewed Russian assaults there when sub-zero temperatures freeze the ground. Meanwhile, Ukrainian Ground Forces Command spokesman Volodymyr Fityo said on Wednesday that Moscow would shift the offensive from towards Kupiansk to the Lyman direction, further south. It comes as Ukrainian officials are suggesting Russian forces will renew offensive actions towards both Kupiansk and Lyman in late January or early February, which could be hampered due to a lack of reserves for large-scale operations. The country's Military Intelligence Directorate, GUR, Deputy Chief Major General Vadim Skibitsky said on Wednesday the ground and airborne components of the Russian army are unable to conduct strategic offensive operations. It is impossible for them to conduct strategic offensive operations without powerful reserves, he added, according to a translation, as per Suspilna, a Ukrainian media outlet. Days earlier, Skibitsky said Moscow recruits about 30,000 personnel per month to replenish losses and form reserve regiments. But it would still need a larger draft akin to the partial mobilization Vladimir Putin announced in September 2022 to establish a powerful strategic reserve.
Готовы! Пострел!
Пострел!
Пали, пали!